Good afternoon, everyone. It is June 20th, 2019. I'm Eric. So, a couple months back, it's probably more like 4. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look, but I did a video regarding deaths of despair. And it makes sense, right? It makes sense that, people feel trapped. They feel no hope. They feel empty. Some of these people do not have gainful employment. Hell, look how long I went without gainful employment, and still don't have gainful employment, although I am employed. Uh, and the only reason I am is because I had a friend that that does construction work, and he's a contractor. And if it weren't for this individual, I would still be fucking ass out, more or less. Some of my subscribers have helped out quite considerably, actually. Luke Kettler, Killing Time, Wolfgang Martin, and a couple of others. Okay, and they helped me get through the rough patch. They put money on my PayPal account. They thought my content was worth helping me out for, I guess. But since then, the problem has gotten even worse. So I've been trying to get more away from the article type videos, and I'm just going to mix it up. Okay, I'm going to mix it up. Some will be, some won't be. And this will be one of them because it goes over what's going on regarding deaths of despair. This too is by Max Slavo at shtfplan.com. In the United States, which is obviously not the happiest nation on earth, Americans are committing suicide or deaths of despair in record numbers. There are many things that we can blame this on, but the lack of personal freedom and the manipulated economy are creating generations of hopelessness. Feelings of hopelessness and despair are overwhelming many in the United States. So much so that people are turning to alcohol, drugs, and suicide to numb the pain of their life. And why not? Why not turn to alcohol and drugs instead of killing yourself? I'm not anti-drug. I'm not anti-alcohol. If you want to drink yourself into a stupor, go right ahead. But I too was doing the exact same thing. Exact same thing. I was eating lots of painkillers, smoking lots of pot, and numbing myself to the reality that I live in. Not that I didn't acknowledge it, not that I haven't been working through it at the same time. I guess on some level, if you're numb to it, then your personal feelings are put aside, and if you're trying to work through it, not having these feelings might help. They may have helped me anyway. I went years and years and years with a serious back problem, and finally somebody stepped up and took x-rays and said, "Oh, you're not faking. This isn't just about you wanting to get high." And after that happened, things started to change for me. They started to change for me, and after about 6 months of intensive chiropractic treatment, my back is now in perfect working order, and I'm able to do things now that I hadn't been able to do for 10, 20 years. Okay? So it went a long way in changing my outlook. Now, I never really considered suicide, but I did go ahead and numb myself up pretty good. So yes, people do this. Government enslavement and the stranglehold on the economy are making life even more difficult on those already struggling to get by. And this is seen in new death numbers released. According to a report by RT, the suicide rate among teens and young adults aged 15 to 24, the older end of Generation Z, spiked in 2017, reaching their highest point since 2000, according to a study published Tuesday in the Journal of the American Mental Association, or JAMA. Deaths of despair have risen 51% in the past 10 years. And this is a result of rising rates and anxiety and depression that comes along with social media use, drug use, hopelessness, and a lack of free will are taking their toll on people. Well, see, here's the thing about that, the lack of free will. People would not be doing nearly as many drugs as they do here in the United States if they had the freedom to do them. Once something is not legal, or once something is not illegal anymore, for a lot of people it takes the thrill out of doing it. So they do it less and less and less. And the statistical figures may be even higher, since some intentional drug overdoses are not counted as suicides. Yes, a lot of people decide to end their lives through drug overdose. You overdose on heroin, you just go. There's no pain, there's no suffering, you're just gone. You're just gone. And a lot of people would call these individuals cowardly because they took this route, except, they opted instead for the ultimate unknown. What happens to you, right? They would have rather faced that ultimate unknown than one more fucking day on this planet and in this country. Think about that for a minute. Is that really cowardly? I don't think so. The rise of millennial and Gen Z deaths of despair can be traced to the gap between reality and expectations. Raised on the myths of the American dream and freedom, these are the first Americans to experience a markedly lower standard of living than their parents, and an increase in the authoritarian control on their lives. Yeah, I haven't been able to do nearly as well as my dad. My dad, as much as I dislike him, he somehow managed to get really good, high-paying jobs in spite of not being a college grad. He is an inspector for a government contractor that builds the FEMA camps. Yes, those are real, and my dad was the quality control inspector for a lot of them. That's how I know they're real for sure. So there is no American dream, people, and there is no American freedom. There is no American democracy. And people, it's starting to set in on people. The baby boomers who grew up prosperous on the fruits of the post-war economic boom had far more freedom and paid a lot less in taxes. than the newer generations, who have effectively sold their children and grandchildren into slavery. And this is why I hate baby boomers. I fucking hate them. Because they sold us all into slavery just for a little bit of security and comfort. Young people are not the only ones who are inflicting suicide. Life expectancy nationwide is down for a third year in a row, and a report from Trust for America's Health published last year projects this epidemic, which they defined as drug and alcohol deaths plus suicide, is on track to kill more than 1.6 million people by 2025 if it continues to grow at its current pace. None of this will change, people. None of this will change until we have the freedom to make our own decisions, our own choices, until we have the freedom to put what in our body, whatever we wish, until we have the freedom to not pay taxes, freedom overall, let me say. Until that changes, people are going to continue to snort more cocaine. They're going to continue to inject more heroin, smoke more weed, take more Xanaxes, eat more pain pills, because that is the only way they can escape, even if it's just for a short period of time. And as bad as it sounds, it's better than committing suicide. Now, there's another suicide epidemic going on. That of people in the military. They actually have physical reasons. I say physical because the things they did was in physical form, and it haunts them. The things they did in the name of us, of freedom, of democracy, are so terrible that they can't stand to live another day knowing they did these things. Police suicides are up, especially in New York. They have to do ugly shit, right, in order to keep their jobs. Some are very enthusiastic about the things that they're supposed to be doing. Others, all they wanted to do is, that classic reason for being a policeman. They just wanted to serve the community. They get into the law enforcement profession, and they figure out really quickly that this is really not what's going on. And after a while, anyone that has any kind of compassion or sense of right and wrong, it eats at them. It eats at them. And they end up offing themselves or staring at the bottom of a bottle or some other stuff. The deputies at the county jail I was in here, a couple of them like snorting Xanaxes. That's how they cope. They cope with the same, or the stuff, the same way anybody else does. They drink themselves into a stupor, or they do drugs. Which I don't find anything wrong with them doing either one. I just find it wrong that they arrest people for the very same things that they do. That's what I find wrong. I find the whole idea that some asshole in some capital, whether it be state or federal capital, Washington, D.C., has the power to dictate to you what you may and may not do. So, anyway, if you have these thoughts, if you think about killing yourself, just remember that somebody out there cares about you. Somebody out there will miss you. And if you're a parent, that makes it more likely that your children will do the exact same thing, if not right away, later on in life. So you should really, really thoroughly think the consequences of your actions through, especially when those actions are permanent. I'm a very self-destructive individual. And it's not that I want to die or anything like that, although some would say it's a death wish. It's that I have to push the boundaries as far as I possibly can. And you know what? I'm still here. Still here. Anyway, I thought I'd talk to you guys about this this ugly trend going on in our country. If we're really free the way we're told we are, these suicides, these deaths of despair, the drug problems wouldn't even exist. Yet another way governments kill you. Well, I guess you can look at it as they're killing you by proxy. Anyway, hope you all have a great afternoon, and until next time, kill the state before the state kills you.